So how many of you know that song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places? Because that song is such a metaphor for what happens. We come onto the planet needing love. There's no doubt about that. When we're born, we have two driving needs, and here they are. When we're born, our driving need is to survive, to make it, because our odds weren't that great not long ago. But in order to make it, you need two things. You need to find connection and avoid rejection. And not that long ago, that is how you survived. You survived by finding connection, avoiding rejection, belonging to a tribe. And it was all fairly easy. You lived in a tribe, everyone was like you were like them, you married someone that was in the tribe. And now our life has changed so dramatically because we don't need a tribe anymore. We can live in an apartment, get Uber and Amazon to deliver everything we need and never connect to anyone, and we will still make it. But we still have this terrible fear of rejection. We are hardwired and coded to dread rejection, to fear rejection, and to need to hook up. And it's great to hook up. There's another song I love which says, love makes the world go round. And that's so true. My grandmother used to say, she was immensely wise, a world without love is like food without salt. And I always loved that. I thought, yeah, that's true. You can have food without salt, but it's not quite as nice. So we want love. I love love. We all love love. But how do you find it? And this is the problem. We look for love in the wrong places. I need to find love. I'm going to go to a bar and find someone. I'm going to go to a club. I'm going to go out with hundreds of people who all look just like me and kind of meander around and try and find my perfect guy, my perfect girl, my perfect partner. And here's the problem. You can only find love that lasts if you can do one thing. To find love, you must believe you are lovable. In fact, that's the only thing you need to do to find love. Love is not to be chased. Love is not to be earned or worked for or bought or run after. And I see so many kids, 16-year-old girls, 15-year-old boys, 20-year-old people who are trying desperately to make someone love them. And it doesn't want to go, I do everything for them. I buy them stuff. I do stuff. I'm trying to make that person see that I'm the perfect one for them. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. In order to find love, you need to do one thing and one thing only, and that is believe you are lovable. And many people, women especially, in order to believe they're lovable, will think, well, I'm going to have surgery, I'm going to have breast implants or liposuction or butt implants, or I'm going to get great makeup or wear designer clothes. And men too, I'm going to, pretend I've got this great car, I'm going to big up myself in order to make you love me. But if you have to do that, then inside you don't really feel you're lovable. In order to be lovable, nothing has to be removed from your body, nothing has to be injected in, nothing has to be waxed off or applied. In order to find love, you need one thing and one thing only, and here it is. You must believe you are lovable. You will attract love to the degree that you believe you're worth it. People say, yeah, but I don't even know, how do I even do that? So let's start right at the beginning. For all of you listening in, let's take a breath and decide, yeah, I want love. Who wouldn't want love? Love completes you. There's nothing better than having someone to wake up to and come home to. People say, I'm fine without love. And that's okay. I was too for a long time. I was a single parent. I had a very nice life. But then when I found love, it really is the icing on the cake. It makes everything so much better than it already was. Because having someone that goes, I've got it, I've got your back. For me, when my husband says to the builders, never talk to my wife, ever, go through me. For me, that's like foreplay. I don't have to talk to the builders. I don't have to deal with people. My husband intervenes. He's always got my back. And I love that. Other people say my wife, and of course we're not gender specific. We're talking about gay people who may have a partner, a wife, a husband. People always write to me and say, why don't you include people who are not straight? But I am. Many of my dearest friends, in fact all my daughters' godparents are gay, and I love that. So in order to find love, you must believe you're lovable. How do you do that? Well, it's actually very simple. You have to say to yourself every day, I am lovable just the way I am. I'm worthy of love. I deserve love. I have something to offer. Many people think, right, I'm going to focus on the qualities I want in my perfect person. What do they look like? What do they do? What are their values? And that's fine. But they forget to think, but what have I got to offer this perfect person? So if you're busy writing a little sheet of what you want in someone, when you finish doing that, you need to think, well, this person who I want, what qualities are they looking for in me? You know, I've worked with many women in their 40s who go, yeah, I want a really hot guy of 25. I'm like, why? Well, because I want someone really hot. I'm like, but what are you going to talk about? And if you're 45 and you have a 25-year-old boyfriend, that's cool. But when you're 65 and they're 45, it's not quite so cool. You can't forever go clubbing and you're looking at the wrong thing. You want someone hot. I get that. You need to be sexually attracted, but that's not enough. In fact, that's the fastest thing to go away. So not only look at the values you require in someone, but look at what they're looking for. And then decide that you are what they're looking for. That's the big way to feel lovable. I am what my perfect guy or perfect girl is looking for. I'm warm, I'm kind, I'm funny, I'm interesting, I'm sexy, I'm compelling. And you've got to get over this belief that, well, you know, I'm not a perfect 10, I don't have a great body, I don't look like a supermodel. You may be surprised to know that some of my unhappiest clients are supermodels. My neighbors always go, wow, I saw, these Victoria's Secret models turn up in a limo, come into your house. What's wrong with them? They've got everything. I'm like, no, they really haven't. And I could never betray my individual clients, but I can tell you right now that many of my clients or models will say, every guy I date, they diminish me, they put me down, they feel inadequate. So here's a little seesaw. Let's imagine this is a seesaw, and here's a supermodel, and here's her guy or girlfriend, whatever. And often they feel that this supermodel is up here, so it's not equal. And when you feel someone is better than you, you have two choices. Embellish yourself or diminish them. If your partner is a gorgeous, hot supermodel, it's kind of hard to embellish yourself, so your next choice is diminish them. Well, you're not very smart, you're not intelligent, you have a job that doesn't use your brains, one day your looks will fade, that's all you've got. And they're really trying to do that. So we start like this, but nobody can do that unless you let them. And you have a choice to never let them. So I've worked with many supermodels, many famous actresses who appear perfect. And people who are perfect are, in my experience, two things: unhappy and often alone. Ava Gardner, Elizabeth Taylor, Rita Hayworth, Greta Garbo, all these goddesses from the 60s and 70s, they all went into isolation, they went into seclusion, they hid themselves away because they couldn't cope with the disappointment. Bridget Bardot, probably the most sexiest woman on the planet, said, I gave the best of me to men, they all let me down. I gave what's left of me to animals, and they never disappoint me. And here is a stunningly beautiful woman who felt let down all the time. I'm only telling you that story to have you understand that being beautiful is no guarantee that you'll find love. You might attract someone, but keeping them is a whole different story. In order to find and maintain love, you need one thing and one thing only: an absolute belief that you are lovable. Now, it must be a belief. You go, I can fake that, I'll pretend. But if you pretend, people pick that up. It must be an unshakable, unwavering belief that you're lovable. So how do you do that? Well, let me tell you, because it's so easy. Look in the mirror every day and go, hey, there you are. Look at you. You are so gorgeous, so lovable, so worthy of love, so deserving of love. Don't add, yeah, but my hair's a mess, I've got fat thighs, I don't earn enough money, I don't have a home of my own, how can I bring someone back to my apartment? I share it with 3 other guys, 2 other women, I just work as a waitress. That's the problem. You start to negate your lovability with a but. When you have a baby, you never go, oh yeah, this is lovable, but this one isn't a designer baby. This one's got a funny, wonky smile, and it's not lovable. We are born knowing we are lovable. And when you know it, other people know it too. So the way to feel lovable, there are really 2 things that will massively increase your sense of being lovable and worthy of love. And when you know you're worthy, the whole world joined you, and they are looking in the mirror and going, there you are, I love you, you're looking good today, you are so lovable. Don't quantify it by what you're doing, what you're earning, because you're not your salary, you're not your job, you're not your childhood, you're not your weight, your shape, your size, you're definitely not your years. You have to expand into knowing you're lovable by looking in the mirror going, there you are, I love you, you are lovable. Secondly, you must praise yourself a lot. I deserve love because I'm lovable. I'm a good person. I'm a kind person. I'm an amazing person. I am a lovable person. Many years ago, well, maybe not, 3 years ago, I was doing one of my RTT trainings, and up came this girl called Jillian, and she was the demonstration model to work for weight loss. And she happened to mention that she was a single parent of a teenage son, and she had a great problem attracting love because she felt she was overweight and heavy. Nobody would ever love her. And so we did a session really about her weight, but I began to add in, you're so lovable, you're warm, you're magnetic, people are so attracted to you. She was heterosexual, so I said, guys are attracted to you, they find you so warm and magnetic. And she came in the next interval, the weirdest thing happened. I took the tube home, and a guy hit on me immediately, and that's never ever happened. I'd been at your course all day, I'd been crying, I wasn't all dressed up, my makeup was running, and he hit on me and he asked me out. And I loved that, and she has found love since. And we had another girl on my course who always found men who diminished her. When I took her back, she went back to a scene where she was walking around the garden with her father, who was desperately ill, and she was trying to make him love her. She was saying things like, Dad, do you love me? Are you proud of me? And he kept saying, why should I be? For what? You haven't done anything. You're not as good as your sister. You're not as smart as your brother. And her father would not tell her he loved her, and he would not tell her he was proud of her, because he came from that old school of thought. If you praise someone, you spoil them. If you spoil them, you ruin them. That is complete nonsense. You never ruin someone by telling them you are lovable. So she had a block. If my own dad doesn't love me, how could I ever, ever, ever find love? And then I worked with this stunningly beautiful woman, also couldn't find love, and that was a little shock for me because she was breathtakingly pretty. She said she walked into a room once and the drummer dropped his drumsticks because that's the effect she had on people, and yet she never got second dates. Guys would take her out, intimidated by her beauty, and then nothing happened. And when I was talking to her, she said, my dad used to say the same thing every day from the minute I was born. Nobody will ever, ever, ever love you like me. You will never find a man to love you like I love you. You couldn't find anyone to love you like me. And without meaning to, he programmed her to believe that. And I remembered that story so well because many years later, my best friend and I had babies almost at the same time. And we were both feeding our babies. I'd gone to visit her in Newcastle with my baby. She had hers. When she started to say to her little baby, you'll never find anyone to love you like me. And I said, don't say that. I don't want to interfere, but never say that to your child. Because what are you saying? You will never find anyone to love you like me? No. You need to say this to your child. I love you so much because you are so lovable. And all your life you'll find people to love you as much as I do, even more than I do, because you are lovable. That's the way you program a child. And many parents, without meaning to, say, I love you because you're beautiful. I love you because you're smart. I love you because you're good, kind, helpful, interesting, intelligent. And you know what the child hears? And if I wasn't, you wouldn't. You love me because I'm pretty, I'm good, I'm smart, I get great grades. And those people grow up believing they've got to earn love by being good, smart, intelligent. And that's the wrong message. When someone loves you because you pay for everything, or you've got a great body, or you're always doing all the chores, the feeling is that when I stop this, you won't love me anymore. I've worked with so many women who can't get pregnant and go, yeah, but my husband loves my body. He always says, I love your body. Oh my God, you got the best body. I fell in love with your body. I'm like, really? What about my mind? What's going to happen when I'm pregnant or I've got the flu? And guys don't mean it. Women don't mean it. They go, I love you because you've given me such a great lifestyle. But people hear that. I love my guy because he's so smart and he's got this amazing career. And one of my clients picked up his briefcase and went to work every day and didn't even tell his wife that he'd got the sack because he was terrified she wouldn't love him anymore. And then he became so ill, he actually couldn't go to work. And then she believed that he'd been laid off because he was sick. He could never tell her the truth because he had a belief. You love me because. So it's great to make the best of yourself. Of course you want to have a fit body, a career that you love, but you need to be loved by you. So let me help you right now all believe you're lovable. I want you to take a minute. I want you to imagine if you had the best parents in the whole world that were absolutely trained to make you feel lovable. Imagine your parents have gone to school and they've learned how to be a great parent. It's a pity we don't actually go to school and learn that because it's really important. If they had got a degree in being a great parent, what would they say to you on a daily basis? You know what it is because we all want to hear the same thing. I love you because you're you. Don't quantify it. A great parent goes, I love you because you're you. I'm proud of you because you're you. I love being your parent. How lucky am I to have you? Being your parent is a great job. It's a gift to be your parent. I love raising you. I love being around you. You're interesting. You're funny. You're cute. You're compelling. Not super smart. You might notice I never said beautiful. So imagine if your parents had said the words you've always wanted to hear. It's what I call the missing bit in you, the words you've never heard. Take a minute now and think about what you would have loved to hear. For me, I wanted my parents to say you're the favorite. They never did. But I wanted to hear that because I wasn't the favorite. I knew I wasn't the favorite very early on. My brother was the firstborn and he was very smart. He went to private school. I didn't because I wasn't smart. My sister also went to private school and she was a cute, pretty one and I was just this blob in the middle. I don't feel like that now and I'm not blaming my parents, but in my perspective, I wanted to hear you're my favorite because I knew I was very far from the favorite. So I began to say it to myself. You're the favorite. You're the favorite child. You're the one that your parents are most proud of. You know what happened? It was the weirdest thing. I became the favorite. It just happened almost in weeks. I had a book published. I went to visit my parents and my brother and sister were there. We would all take our kids on like Easter and Christmas, and I think it was Easter. And it was the weirdest thing because my parents both honed in on me like a laser and went, oh my God, we're so proud of you. You know, your book is everywhere. You're on the news. You know, it's even weirder. I didn't really like it that much. I thought this is so rude to my brother and sister and their children. But it was so interesting that I said it and it became true. Because when you say something over and over again, it becomes true, which is why you must never go, who's going to love me? I've got cellulite. Who's going to love me? I don't have a great job. Who's going to love me? I've got 3 kids, no money. I'm not a model. I'm not a rock star. I'm not a superstar. When you say that, it's true. When you go, I'm so lovable. I got a lovable heart. I'm kind. I'm warm. Because what people look for in a relationship is warmth, kindness, humor, intelligence, somebody that can make you laugh, someone that has got your back, that will support you. No matter how hot you might want to be, that may make someone interested in you. It will not make them stay with you. Look, Princess Diana got left for Camilla. If you don't believe me, look at that. There are many gorgeous women who get dumped, many gorgeous men who get dumped. And they get dumped for someone who is warm, or caring, or funny, or interesting. So let's go back. What did you most want to hear? I want you to say it now. Don't think, I'll do this after this webinar's over. No, you're going to do it now. He who hesitates is lost. So we'll all do it together. I want you to repeat after me. I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're the best kid ever. I love you so much. And all your life you're going to find love. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're you. and all your life you will find love because I love you. And even if your parents didn't love you, never celebrated you, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. But it's never too late to go back and put in the missing bit. I love you. Let's do it again. I want you to say it out loud. Even if it feels silly, cheesy, embarrassing, and completely fake, I don't care. Let's say it together. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're mine. You're amazing. I love you because you're you. And all your life you're going to find people who love you because you're you, because you're lovable. You know, in that Bridget Jones movie when he said, I love you just the way you are, and that Barry White song, and Billy Joel, don't go changing to try to please me. I love you just the way you are. So you have to look in the mirror and go, I love you just the way you are. Sing that song because you're sending a message to yourself. I love you just the way you are, and so will everyone else. And then you'll find your perfect person. I know this to work because I have an audio code, Finding and Attracting Love. And people write to me and go, well, it was the weirdest thing. I bought that audio and something so bizarre happened. I went to the store. I go to the store every week, wheeling my little car, and this girl came up and went, this is really weird, but I have an overwhelming need to talk to you. There's just something magnetic about you. And someone said, they said, I was in the store and this guy hit on me. We had a coffee. It was a bit weird and we're still together. So what else? I was coming out of my apartment and I met this guy. He lived next door. He'd lived next door for years. I'd never seen him. He'd never seen me. And we collided like that and we're still together. And I know it's because I felt lovable. The day my husband asked me to marry him, the next day I had to go to Spain. I flew to Spain every week. I was working at a boot camp, helping very rich Arab princesses lose weight. And I was going through security, and I left, and this guy ran after me and went, hey, I think you left this bit of paper behind. And obviously I didn't. And he was hitting on me so hard. And I went to Spain every time. That never happened to me until the day I got engaged. I must have been radiating this, oh my God, I'm so lovable, I'm getting married, this is amazing. Because my attractability factor must have shot up. Nothing changed except my feeling. Someone wants to marry me, I'm so lovable, he's completely in love with me, with who I am. I had a broken arm at the time, and I couldn't put on any makeup. But this guy was hitting on me because I was radiating lovability. People say, it's so weird. I was in a relationship wasteland, no love, no guy, no girl, nothing. And then I met someone, and how ironic. The next month, 3 different people hit on me. That's what happens when you know you're lovable. Women will say, I was with this awful guy, he didn't treat me very well. Or men will say, I was with this woman or partner that hurt me. And then I got over them. And I met someone who the day I got over them, they called me and went, I'm thinking about it. I'd like to get back together. It's like, sorry, too late. I've moved on. So when you know you're lovable, other people know it too. If you want to find love, please believe me. You only have to do one thing. No designer clothes are required. No waxing, no contouring, no blow drying is required. No faking or bigging up yourself or pretending you're something you're not. Just go out in the world knowing you are lovable. Fake it until you make it. But if you fake it enough, it becomes real, because here's a rule of the mind. Here's about 3. Your mind learns by repetition. It believes everything you tell it. You must act in a way that is utterly consistent with the way you define yourself, and every word you say and every thought you think is a blueprint that you must work towards. So here's a song to sing. There's an old song, I think it's from something like West Side Story. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful girl. You can change that to a wonderful guy. It might be from 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, who cares? So think of the song, I found love, or I love you. There's so many songs about love. Make a little ditty, sing it to yourself. I'm in love with a wonderful girl. I'm in love with a wonderful guy. I've found what I'm looking for. Call off the search. Believe you're lovable. Wire in, fire in, code in, install in the belief that you're lovable. Then put yourself in front of people. Don't go, okay, I'm lovable now. Sit at home and watch TV and my perfect person will turn up. No one goes, I need a job. I sit at home and manifest it. I need a new house. I'll sit at home and manifest it. Go out and put yourself in front of people. If you're a girl looking for a guy, go to poker schools, go to a car wash on a Saturday morning, play golf. If you go to a golf club believing you're lovable, you'll come home with a husband. I know that because I've sent so many of my clients go, I'm doing yoga. There's no men there. Stop doing yoga. Go to the weight room full of guys. Go to a golf course. And if you're a guy, stop doing weights and do yoga. You've got to put yourself in front of women. You've got to put yourself in front of men. Whatever your gender is that you're attracted to, put yourself in front of them with a belief that you're lovable. You'll go home with one of them.